What up, what up, what up, Hype Squad? It's your boy Lucrecio coming at you with another video. If you're new to the page, welcome to exceedthehype.com. To join the Hype Squad, click subscribe, alright? So, this is a very good day. This is a very, very good day. We had a major shift in the NBA today in the Western Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder did not rest. They were not satisfied. They kept the pursuit for Western Conference dominance alive, and they acquired Carmelo Anthony. The official trade was Carmelo Anthony from the Knicks and Enes Kanter, $17 million a year, going to New York, and Doug McDermott also going to New York with a draft pick. I believe it's probably a second rounder. If I know Sam Presti like I know Sam Presti, it's a second rounder most likely. In my opinion, this trade was probably a very easy trade to make because, in my opinion, Sam Presti probably offered this deal a while ago. Remember, Carmelo Anthony had the no trade clause. So even though the Knicks may have wanted to accept the deal or whatever the case may be, he had the veto power to not accept the deal. So he didn't want to go to OKC. He thought he would get his wish and go to Houston with his buddy Chris Paul, which would make sense. But it didn't work out. At the last minute before training camp, he's like, all right, forget it. If it's not going to work out with Houston, let's go ahead and go to OKC. He put it on his list, his expanded list of teams he's willing to be traded to. And lo and behold, Sam Presti was like, oh. Well, Sam Presti probably didn't even call. The Knicks called Sam Presti probably like, is the deal still on the table? He was like, yep, check off on it. Deal done, right? So I personally believe that this puts Oklahoma City over the top. They won't finish with a better record than Golden State, maybe even San Antonio. They may be third or whatever the case may be. But in my opinion, this puts them over Golden State in a head-to-head matchup. Why do I believe that? Well, I believe it for a couple reasons. Number one, let's back 2 years up in the past, right? Or I guess, yeah, 2 years in the past. Billy Donovan seems to have a formula for beating Golden State. Remember, even though they had Kevin Durant or whatever, but they were up 3-1 on the same team that played the same style of basketball. They did a whole lot of switching. They tried to switch every single screen that Golden State set. They're linked. They were a very long team. They bothered Golden State. They bothered Steph Curry. Steph Curry couldn't really see the floor well or whatever because Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, these guys are really long. Andre Robertson, they're really long players. So they obstructed the passing lanes and stuff like that. And they just made Golden State really uncomfortable to the point where they were up on Golden State 3-1 and nearly eliminated them in the playoffs. This is, once again, Golden State. You can't say it's before they got started. They won 67 games the year before. This is the 73-win Golden State Warriors that they had down 3-1. They couldn't close it out. That's fine. But in my opinion, Billy Donovan has something, has an understanding of how Golden State plays. And I believe that's one reason they're going to be able to knock off the Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about Carmelo Anthony. What Carmelo Anthony does, he makes that lineup even smaller. Golden State was one of the last teams trying to play two bigs together, and it just wasn't working. Whether it was Serge Ibaka and Adams or Enes Kanter and Adams or whatever, it don't work in today's NBA unless you play really slow like the Memphis Grizzlies. That being the case, now they have Carmelo Anthony to play the 4 position, along with Paul George playing the 3, along with Andre Robertson playing the 2, which is his best position in the NBA, along with Russell Westbrook. And then they still have Steven Adams. If Steven Adams becomes a matchup problem in that particular matchup, they could downgrade Steven Adams for Patrick Patterson, somebody who's like 6'8", who can still guard from 5 to 3 or from 5 to 2, depending on who the 2 is. Once again, it provides, and even without, that's four players who are capable of playing on the wing and hitting threes or whatever. Then you can go off the bench with Terrence Ferguson, your rookie. If he's any good, he's 6'5", almost 6'6". He can shoot threes. And he can defend at a high level, supposedly. Then you still have other guys like Jeremy Grant, who is another very mobile big. He's about 6'9", but he's very agile and things of that nature. you have Kyle Singler, even though Kyle Singler can't really guard anybody, but you just have the right type of players to throw at Golden State. You have the right type of coach who will, try to switch everything they do. You just have a perfect storm of players for that particular matchup. If you also look at Carmelo Anthony himself, what does he bring to the table? Well, Carmelo Anthony is still a elite scorer in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about any listings. I don't care about any publications, sports, whatever. Carmelo Anthony is still one of the top 5, top 3 elite scorers in this league. He can score from anywhere on the court. He can bully whoever. He can get rebound. Carmelo Anthony is an incredible weapon. Now, he's not known for his defense, but I believe his defense will take a step up this year playing with the guys he's going to be playing with. All right, I don't think he's going to leave the burden to those guys. And then even with that, Carmelo Anthony on this team playing the 4 takes away the advantage of having Draymond Green on the floor for Golden State. Now, why is Draymond Green so effective in today's NBA? Well, he's strong enough that he can stop a center or a power forward from scoring in the post, or at least slow them down. It's not going to be a field day as it should be, considering he's like 6'6" or whatever. A big should be able to score on him at will. Once again, I said this in my Golden State video. Steve Kerr saw that the bigs weren't as skilled as they needed to be, and Draymond Green is able to stop bigs from scoring in the post. And then on the other side of the basketball, the bigs have no chance to stay in front of him because he's somebody who can handle the ball. He can create his own shot, kind of. And he's somebody who can get to the basket at will if a true big tries to guard him or whatever. Once again, he also pulls them out to the perimeter because he plays on the perimeter most of the time. So it's a bad matchup. You just have your people in weird positions on the floor when you play Golden State, and that's why they're so lethal. That's one of the reasons why they're so lethal. Carmelo Anthony playing the 4, he can slide out there with Draymond. Draymond's nothing to Carmelo Anthony. That takes that huge advantage away from Golden State. That's another reason I believe this collection of talent with the Oklahoma City can beat this Golden State team. And I'm very, very happy to say it. To be very honest, I'm very, very happy this happened. I hate having an NBA season where it's just predetermined or whatever. We're like, okay, I don't think anybody could beat Golden State or whatever. I hate that feeling. And this trade really, really, really just makes me happy to know that, hey, and once again, another factor is it's OKC. The fact that OKC was the team Kevin Durant left, and they should have beaten the Golden State Warriors 2 years ago. They didn't. Kevin Durant left, and now they're just a band of fellas around Russell Westbrook. They couldn't really help that much when Russell Westbrook left the floor. They gave up 10, 11 point leads in like a couple seconds. Crazy stuff happened, and now I'm just happy to see Oklahoma City getting back to a level where they can be dominant in the Western Conference. However, all good news is not good. It's not whatever. All the news is not good. Even though I personally believe this team will beat the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, or whenever they play Golden State in the playoffs next year, this team can't beat Cleveland. This team can't beat Cleveland as currently constructed. The reason why Golden State was so tough for Cleveland, and it will remain to be so tough for Cleveland, is because LeBron can't dictate the game. He can't dictate the tempo. He can't really dominate offensively when it comes to playmaking or whatever, because the game's too fast. He just becomes another player versus Golden State. Whereas against other teams or whatever, and especially in the playoff series, you see him with the ball. He has the ball all the time. He's facilitating everything. He's finding whatever mismatch and exploiting it over and over again. When you feel that, when he finds something else, he's controlling the game on defense. He allows, Tyronn Lue to gamble a lot because of his speed and athleticism, being able to jump passing lanes or whatever to make up for the extra space on the floor or whatever. Like, it's so much to deal with when you're dealing with LeBron. Golden State found a way, because of how fast they play and because of how potent the offense is, to kind of minimize the LeBron factor or whatever in the playoff series. However, this team, Oklahoma City, as constituted, will not be able to play fast enough to minimize LeBron like that. So, even though I believe this Thunder team will make it to the finals, will beat Golden State possibly in the Western Conference Finals, but whenever they play Golden State, they're going to beat Golden State. But they'll end up losing to the Eastern Conference champions, which will be the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's my ultimate opinion. We'll see what happens. This is the prediction video. I really do, but let's not focus on the negative. Let's leave Cleveland out of it. I absolutely believe that the Golden State Warriors will fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder this year in the playoffs, and I'm very happy to say it. And it's just the most exciting off season, and the season starts in about 25 days or so. All right. Anyway, leave your comments if you agree, disagree, whatever. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. To join the Hype Squad, click subscribe.